This is latest 247. Thank you guys for joining. And in this episode, we are going to be talking about Israel Adesanya. We know that spotlight actually gets to people. Some people get to a level of fame, and it becomes very, difficult for them to manage themselves because maybe from where they are coming from, they have been living free, talking free, acting free the way they want because they weren't superstars, they weren't known and things like that. So eventually that spills over in what they do, even when they now achieve that level of fame. So that's one of the things that's happening to this guy, Israel Adesanya. Of course, he has been on the spotlight for some time now. It's not as if he's a new guy he's a new kid. But right now in UFC, where he's actually trending, Israel Adesanya, you can always check him out. He has been, breaking different records. Serially, he has been a serial, winner for some time now. Winning every match that he has actually fought. But although the last one he did fight with someone on a different weight class, he lost it. That is the only the only fight he has lost because he was trying to get a double championship. But it didn't work for him. But aside from that, he has been very phenomenal and doing great in the in the fighting business. So recently, about a week ago, he lost a contract. A contract that is actually in motion, and the company has been pushing, which is BMW, pushing for some time now to sign him up as a brand ambassador. And we know that BMW is a luxury brand, so that means it's going to be a lot of money for the guy, a lot of money in the pipeline coming. But he kind of messed things up with just a little statement that he made online, and this is where social media has been, having a very bad impact on people's career, a very bad impact on people's businesses, because he used a word that is not supposed to be used. One of his, one of those banters that you have with your fellow, or those that you are having issues with. He was having issues with someone on the line. Of course, we know that in the fight, you have to keep staying controversial. Otherwise, you will you'll be forgotten. So you have to stay relevant by making issues even when there are no issues. You start abusing someone, like a pre-match fight. You know how it happens. Before a match, you guys will be fighting online. I'm going to beat the hell out of you. I'm going to do this to you. When I finish with you, your parents are not going, your mother is not going to know you and stuff like that. So they just keep abusing themselves online. So he said something that he said he was going to effing Ray being. So he used the R word on the guy, and that didn't go well. That didn't go well because it's got a lot of backlash. I don't want to use the correct word, complete word, but I know you understand it. This is YouTube and other social media platform. So because he used that word, he got a very huge backlash. They'll be like, you cannot use that word, even though you are not in a formal setting, because we don't take it lightly, especially the company that was thinking of signing him, which in this case now is BMW. Their prime minister, who is also the sports minister, actually said it blatantly that they were not going to move forward with the contract. That because of what he said, that they don't take the Ray word very, very lightly. They take it very serious, and they are not going to continue with the contract. So they are dropping it. Now, that's a big loss for him. In fact, they were even instigating, they were kind of pushing it over to the UFC. Like the UFC should actually take action against the guy because of that same word that he used. So, but UFC has not done anything because I think they also understand how this thing go. Pre-match banters, you have to stay relevant. They keep, that happened during the time of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Before they fought, Deontay Wilder was actually blasting the guy, and of course Tyson Fury also was blasting him, calling him Doza, calling him different name. And Deontay Wilder was saying even Jesus cannot save you, blasting him. So it's a pre-match thing. It's something that you do to stay relevant, which is actually good for the game because it gets more people to want to know what exactly are you doing, who are you actually, and eventually they want to check out your your history, your portfolio, and eventually they want to watch your next fight. And then that brings a lot of money if it's pay-per-view or direct view or views like that. So you get a lot of people watching. So you enjoying it by making a lot of money, getting people to pay to watch you, and also the company or the agency holding you also gets more money. So it's good for everybody. So, but this has affected Israel Adesanya in a very bad way. So, but to now cap it all, at the end of all this thing now, I think the guy was trying, although he has issued an apology, saying that he did not know that it was going to go that way. Of course, he was just having a bant on social media, on Twitter, and he didn't know it was going to go out that way. But he takes responsibility for what he has said and said that, okay, the fame is still something new to him, that he doesn't. But I think because of what has happened right now, he has learned his lesson, and so he will have to start controlling the kind of comments that he made, knowing that a lot of people are actually following him, a lot of people are looking up to him. That it is no longer just about the next person that he is speaking to, maybe his opponent or the next fighter that he is speaking to, abusing or whatever. It's no longer just about that person. It's about the greater world. It's about the greater community on social media, because not only that person will see it, every other person is going to see it. So for him to have used the R word, every other person would have seen it, and it would have affected some people in a very negative way, especially those who have had that experience. It's not going to go down well with them. So, but he went out now after a week, about a week, and then he went and bought a Bentley for his dad. Wow. And then when we saw that, it was like, was he trying to send a message to BMW that he doesn't need their contract? Or was he trying to say, okay, I have my own money. Even if you're not giving me a contract, I still have a lot of money to spend for myself and my family members. Though he gave that as an excuse, saying, okay, that he saw his dad looking at the car and he think that he liked it, so he decided to buy it for him. So, and he said something about this is the kind of things that you will not see on the news. Is when I mess up right now, it's all over the news. But when I do something good, like buying a whip for my dad, no one talks about it. And we understand this is how social media works. The only thing that sells most time is the bad news, the negative news, the news that's going to demean you, the news that's going to affect you in a negative way. That is what sells. When you do something great, when you do it out of kindness or help someone, it just falls below the radar. No one wants to know much more about that. But when you have a scandal, you begin to trend. Everybody wants to hear about it. Everybody wants to have an opinion on your issue, and so it makes it to go viral. So, which is very true. So, but in all, I think Israel Adesanya has learned his lesson, knowing that okay, he can actually lose a lot of money. BMW, which is a luxury brand, would have actually paid this guy a lot of money. Who knows how many million was in the contract? It would have been a lot of millions. And this would have been maybe in pounds or euros or something like that. So he has lost that. So this also goes out to a lot of athletes out there, a lot of celebrities out there, those that use the wrong word. I mean, there was a time this guy had an issue with the bench when he was accused of rape. Just because he was accused of rape, it wasn't certified yet. I mean, the case was still building up, investigation was still about to begin, but he was accused, and people dragged him on Twitter. And just with that process, people even started signing petition for him to be dropped from ambassadorship from different brands that he was chairing. And he actually lost some business then, even without investigation, prior to investigation, of which eventually that case was dropped. The lady said nothing happened like that the rape didn't happen, but it was just his friend that was just trying to push the thing forward. So, but even before those things were discovered that the rape didn't happen the way they were saying it happened, the guy has lost a lot of, business already. So social media has a way of quickly pulling people down. It has a way of quickly affecting people's, fame and achievement. So the more you put out there, the more you expose yourself to getting dragged or getting issued because of what you say or what you do. So of course, everyone is expected to be cautious, and we expect that Israel Adesanya has learned his lesson and is going to be cautious going forward. And of course, other players also, other fighters will also learn their lesson. No matter how you do the pre-match hit-up, pre-match fight, or pre-match cook-up, you still have to be careful of what you say and not use the R word. And of course, other kind of words, that has to do with racism and all of that also. You don't use it so that you don't get backlash, or you don't get your own status or your own brand affected in any negative way. So that's what I got for you guys. What do you think about this? Do you think BMW should have gone ahead since he has already apologized, or do you think it's just okay that they dropped him finally? And what do you think? Do you think Bentley should sign him up because he has, kind of bought a brand and promoted it? What do you think, guys? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you, guys. Thank you.